I showed my husband the entire post and read out every comment one by one. At first, he was furious, cursing at the people who commented. But I told him this wasn't something to be angry about. I told him that any normal person would think like this. How can you get mad at them? I asked him. He finally agreed and said he would talk to his aunt and uncle this weekend. He also planned to speak to his parents and tell them that until his cousin stopped contacting him, he wouldn't attend any family events. Still, he claimed he was innocent and didn't understand why all of this was happening. He said they grew up close because they lived near each other, spending almost every day together. During her rebellious teenage years, he acted like an older brother, guiding her through tough times. But then, he dropped a bombshell. Just before our wedding, she confessed to him. She told him she wished he wasn't her cousin. She even asked him if they could run away to live abroad together. I was speechless, but he said he thought she was just confused. He said he didn't think too much of it and let it go. I was furious. I told him, how could she even have those feelings? How can you say that's normal? My husband listened to me, and then, without warning, he dialed his cousin's number. He told her right there in front of me, don't contact me anymore. From now on, we'll just live like distant relatives. You're causing my wife too much stress. I've never seen you as anything other than a sister, and I don't want any misunderstandings. And then, he hung up the phone. After hanging up, my husband broke down. He cried, saying he never thought things would come to this. He felt like he had lost a little sister, and now, he had also lost my trust. I didn't mean for this to happen, he said through tears. I told him I wouldn't stay mad at him anymore, but we needed to address this situation with his aunt and uncle this weekend. Though I wasn't ready to trust him completely yet, I decided to give him a chance. That Friday night, I read all the comments to him again. This time, my husband finally realized how serious the situation had become. He agreed to tell his parents and his aunt and uncle everything. But I still had a bad feeling, so I took his phone away. I didn't trust him completely, and I couldn't shake the feeling that he might contact his cousin again. My husband handed over his phone without a single complaint. He didn't leave the house all weekend, not even stepping out onto the balcony. I told him, if you want to rebuild my trust, you'll do exactly as I say. He agreed and followed every instruction I gave him. But I still couldn't understand how his cousin could think the way she did. It didn't make any sense to me, so I decided not to bring it up anymore. That night, as I lay in bed, I couldn't stop thinking. How could I make his parents believe me? What if my husband turned everything around and made me look like the crazy one? While I was deep in thought, my husband's phone rang. I didn't need to check to know who it was. It was his cousin. The phone rang again and again. By the fourth call, I decided to answer it. Hello? Put Opa on the phone, she demanded, her words slurred from alcohol. He's sleeping, I replied, and who do you think you are, speaking to me like this? Do you even know what time it is? Put Opa on the phone. She screamed. I told her, Opa doesn't want to talk to you. He told you to stop calling. And you think he wants to talk to someone like you? You're the first crazy person I've ever seen like this. She kept shouting, put Opa on the phone. I calmly told her that her brother was asleep next to me, in our bed, and there was nothing more to say. I hung up, but she called again. I remembered the advice from the comments: record the call. So I took a deep breath, picked up the phone again, and hit record. I was ready to get the evidence I needed. Hello, sister-in-law? I answered politely. Who are you calling sister-in-law? UBH, she screamed. I kept my cool, speaking softly, it's late. Please don't do this. But she kept going, this is my brother's phone. Who the hell do you think you are answering it? I could hear the rage and desperation in her voice as she hurled more insults at me. I ended the call, but I had everything recorded. The next morning, I played the recording for my husband. He was shocked and had no idea that things had gone this far. Later, we went to his parents' house to confront them with the truth. At first, they didn't believe me, but I played the recording. After hearing their daughter's voice, cursing at me and calling for her brother, they were speechless. In the end, my in-laws promised to send his cousin abroad. They said they would help us move far away and start fresh. For the first time, I felt a sense of relief. I still didn't trust my husband completely, but at least the truth had come out. The nightmare with his cousin was finally over, and I could begin to heal.